Hello and welcome to Office Hours, the official live stream of internet outages and using 5G hotspotting to live stream video. Um, if the connection is poor, I apologize. It's been a fun day up here at the top of this hill for internet, but nevertheless, the show must go on. The office hours must go on. Joining me, as always, is our onboarding engineer, Mai. Hi, Mai.
Hi, Andy.
How you doing today?
I'm doing well. Sorry to hear about your internet
Yeah.
issues.
Well, when it rains, it pours, I guess. Though it didn't rain, so I don't know what the problem is. But neither here nor there. The important thing is we are here to talk about feeds for the first time. Just to give you a sort of primer on feeds, previously we've been talking about chat, which is the feature that we offer completely free. You can go sign up right now at weavy.com. Go to weavy.com/account and you can sign up. Super easy. You'll get your license key. You can get started. It's a great time. Highly recommended. The whole thing about chat is that chat is a sort of like persistent, ongoing conversation within your app that has a lot of great features and third-party integrations. So it's really good for conversation and sort of ad hoc collaboration. But the power of feeds is that feeds brings a more contextual collaboration to your platform because feeds can be applied on a per object basis within your app. So it's a really good place where you can like create contextual conversations around things that people are working on. You can tag people. It's a great time. So that is the high level summary of what feeds can do for you. Mai has prepared a tutorial for us. Mai, do you want to go into what we'll be covering today?
Yeah, so today we're just going to do like a simple JavaScript application and have activity feeds in there and help you set that up.
Nice. And I would assume for new viewers, the thing to remember is you need to set up the Weavy Server SDK.
Yes, if you haven't already, be sure to set up the Weavy Server SDK because this whole tutorial won't work unless you have that set up first.
Absolutely. And if you need to learn how to do that, you should go to office hours number 001, where we cover how to do just that. You can also go to the Weavy Docs site where we've got great step-by-step tutorials on getting started with the Weavy Server SDK. Anything else that people should have prepared in order to follow along?
No, that's really about it. If you run into any issues, of course, you can check out the common issues video that we have.
Yeah, exactly. So without further ado, let's go right into the tutorial.
In this tutorial, we're going to be adding activity feeds to a simple JavaScript application. I'm going to be using a basic HTML file. To add the client SDK, copy and paste the script from the tutorial and paste it in the head. Change your URL to localhost 44323 or wherever your server is running on. After you've loaded the client SDK, you can now create a new Weavy instance anywhere, any point in your app. The Weavy instance is the main entry point used when embedding Weavy. It sets up a connection to the Weavy server and handles real-time communication, event distribution, and more. When creating a new Weavy instance, we will need the JWT token. Paste it here. Be sure to include it when you instantiate Weavy. Next, we are going to create a space. Spaces are used in Weavy to group apps around a subject or entity. Within those spaces are members. Any members within a space have access to any apps within that space. In order to set up the Weavy space, we need a unique identifier, the key. Keys must be unique because they are used to grab the contextual information for that specific space or app. Any unique identifier will do, it just can't be too long. For me, I'm going to use demo. For this application, we will also need another unique identifier for the key, an ID for the container, as well as a type. For activity feeds, the type is going to be post. For my key, I will use feeds demo. And for my container, I will use an ID of Weavy feeds. Next, we must create a div with the same container ID. Weavy apps will also automatically size themselves to the container. So we will need to set a height property on the Weavy container, or else the height will be 0. At this point, if we did everything correctly, we should see activity feeds rendered in our application. Congratulations! Now you have feeds rendered in your application. But what really sets feeds apart from chat is the ability to have the threaded conversation and the contextual aspect, which allows conversations to be tied to any object through the unique identifier. To demonstrate, I'm going to add multiple apps and multiple containers. Each of these feeds are unique and can be tied around different topics. For example, you can have a conversation around different kinds of pets, like dogs, cats, and maybe birds. You can like, comment, post attachments, you can also create a poll, And each of these conversations remain distinct based on that initial unique identifier.
And we're back. Great. Thank you so much, Mai. What are just some questions about like, um, mechanically speaking, getting feed set up in a JavaScript app, since that's where we started, versus something like Angular or React. Functionally, I guess, like, what kind of difference are we looking in terms of integrating the API?
So you just tie with any front end, you tie in the client SDK, which is a
Hmm.
JavaScript library. And with JavaScript, that's just really easy. You just like plug it in. And with Angular and React, you do the same thing, but there's a lot of other layers that build on top of that.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, because I guess they are partially derived from like JavaScript libraries, right? Or am I completely off base here?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
sure. Because obviously this was a fairly short tutorial. By your estimation, how would you rank the difficulty in integrating feeds versus integrating chat?
I would rank them really about the same.
Oh yeah.
Because really the only thing you're changing is like that type parameter.
Mm,
Um, yeah. So it's just switching that out from messenger to post is really the only
sure.
difference.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. Um, cool. I think this is sort of a short one because it's a fairly straightforward process, from what I've gathered. Um, and if I'm incorrect, you can send me an email. My email is my first name, Andy, at weavy.com. And with the subject line, "You are wrong," I'll know exactly what you were talking about. All right. So, uh, in terms of like, I guess next week it'll be about next steps with feeds. Yeah, I think.
Yeah. Next up with feeds. I think next week we're doing like a rerun
Oh, that's
because
right. That's right.
we'll be yeah.
Next week we're gonna be doing a little bit of a best of. Uh, so we've got some great pre-recorded stuff from the Microsoft Build contest conference that we made. So some more stuff with Angular, and React, and Blazor, and all that stuff. So you got that to look forward to while we are doing some team exercises out here in the real world. We will see you again in 2 weeks. As always, I am Andy, joined by Mai and in spirit, Dave. Uh, any questions, comments, concerns, you can email any one of us by going to our first name at weavy.com. So, for example, you got serious technical questions, Dave at weavy.com. Recipe ideas for dog treats, Dave at weavy.com. And for everything else, my or myself happy to answer, or forward those emails to Dave at weavy.com. Um, so yeah, that's it for us this week. Thank you for joining, and have a convivial Tuesday.